There we go. Isn't that helpful? Okay. There we go. So welcome to our training. How are you all? So nice to see all of you pop on. Can you hear me? It looked like I was muted. So let's just make sure you can hear me. If you wouldn't mind just putting it in the chat. Yes, perfect. Okay, welcome. All right, so today is very special because we are learning why the Beatles had it right all along. All you need is love for permanent weight loss. Awesome. And how to keep it off. And today I made a special slideshow for you. And so that way we can follow along. So let me just get this, share my screen here. Here we go. So much technology. Who loves technology as much as I do? All right. So I think I'm going to try to do it so that we can see all of it. How's that look? Okay. Okay. So I was, I'm curious about where you are in your relationship with your body. And I had some questions. I don't know if you saw it on my email invitation, but just wanting to get curious about how do you see yourself and your relationship? I'm just going to kind of, I don't know, can you see me bigger a little bit? How would you classify your relationship with yourself? Just super curious. So here we have the Beatles. There they are in stone. Why the Beatles had it all figured out. All you really need is love. And I'm going to teach you 3 main reasons. And we're going to really break this down, probably in a way that you've never heard it broken down before. So it's super important that you turn off your phone, turn off your distractions, making sure that you are able to really be present for this, because what's going to happen is I'm going to give you solutions to a problem that has been holding you back in your life from what you really want in your life. And so I have my podcast that helps you. I have my YouTube channel. And one of the things that I believe so strongly in is the more that you invest in your brain. So even though you didn't pay anything to come here, I want you to consider that you paid a lot of money because something in our brain says it's more valuable. But this is the kind of work I do with my paid clients. So I don't want you to negate this or not take it as seriously because it's free right now. Okay. So that is just really important for you to just get yourself in that mindset of this is super valuable. This will help me lose 10, 20, 40, whatever pounds. And you're going to have so much transformation as you take this in. All right. So let's just take a look at what do you want your relationship with your body to be like? So I would be curious to see what your thoughts are. So you want to be and stay thin. You want to feel comfortable in your body. You don't want to worry about what you eat. You want to stop obsessing about your weight. You want to quit feeling hopeless about your weight. You want to stop quitting on yourself. How many of you have quit on yourself? Even coming here. I mean, it's showing me that you're here, but how often do you quit? Even some of you might be here that have even purchased things from me and haven't followed through. Okay, it's so interesting. You want to quit feeling hopeless about your weight. You want to stop just going to that apathy place of like, what's the point? It's not going to happen for me. Those other people, I guess they're smarter. I'm not smart enough. Like, really, like, what are the things that you're saying to yourself? To stop quitting on yourself, to be happy generally. Wouldn't that be fun just to like have a general sense of happiness in your life? Is that something that you want? Be happy. Oh, sorry, not to be exhausted. I was talking to a lady who just signed up for my live event, October 18th to 20th. And then we have the 12-week follow-up, which we'll be talking about later today in this. And she said by the end of the day, 8:30, she's so exhausted that she really can't do all the fun things that she has. Like she can't sew, she can't even do hand stitching because she's so darn tired. Is that you? And then to not cringe when looking in the mirror. Now, I could have put a bunch of other things in here. And in fact, if you have other things that you want in your relationship with your body to be like, I invite you to put it in the chat. Okay. So write it in the chat. We'd love to share it with others. Okay. So what have you done to get these results? Okay. So how many of these have you done? So you try all the diets. So you spend money on programs and processes that don't work. You be strict and mean to yourself. You compare yourself to others. You give yourself incentives to lose weight. Lots of deprivation. You do a lot of bargaining. Like if you are really good, then you get to buy this fabric bundle. If you're really good, like you treat yourself like a child, then you can have this. Okay. You have surgery. Some of you have had lap band surgery or whatever, those kinds of surgeries. Just getting your stomach stapled because you think, oh, well, if I could just get there. I mean, how many of us have done this? We're like, and I know this because I've done this myself and I've helped so many of my clients. You think, okay, if I can just get to my ideal weight, doesn't matter how I get there. Once I'm there, then I'll be fine. Then I'll be like a fresh slate. I'll be okay. All right. Can you relate to this? All right. I'm not sure. I'm just going to stop my sharing. Okay. People, I'm not seeing your chats. I want this to be super interactive. So I encourage you to interact in the chat. Okay. So I know just from my teaching background that the more interactive you are with the information, the more you're going to be able to, your brain is going to be able to take things in. Okay. So I'd love you to interact on the chat. And what are the other things, if I haven't mentioned them, things that you have done to try to get a better relationship with your body? So do you do the rebellion thing of saying, I don't actually care, like you're pretending you're a teenager, but really deep down you do care? Do you procrastinate for the right time to take on a weight loss thing or to finally, conquer this weight issue that you've had for so long? Do you wait until is it really serious and the doctor says, unless you change, you're going to have this many problems? Do you get joy from helping others, but never find your own joy? So do you get yourself really, really busy helping other people? Do you spend money on programs, like I said, and processes that don't work? Okay, so I really want you to get curious about where do you fall in this spectrum? Okay. All right. So what you haven't experienced, why you haven't experienced the desired results yet. Okay. Why haven't you? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because you don't understand science. You don't understand the weight loss science. And in fact, we have a multi-billion-dollar industry that doesn't want you to understand this. It wants you to stay in the dark and it wants you to stay confused. Okay. You don't understand the effects of food and weight loss. You're not in tune with your body. You don't really know how to listen to your body. You're not like picking up the cues. So how many of you have fibromyalgia? How many of you have thyroid medication? How many of you have type 2 diabetes? How many of you have sore backs and sore aches and pains, right? Those pain is actually telling you something's going on. How many of you have acne? How many of you have irregular bowel movements? How many of you have like all sorts of problems? Okay. So negative self-talk is so destructive. So mental and physical health has never been at such an all-time low. We're still at the we're still in the pandemic. And if we don't take care of our mental and physical health, we can see the repercussions of it. We can see how detrimental it is. Okay. So as we learn to monitor our self-talk, then we can really have the desired results. But if we aren't doing that, we're not going to be able to have our desired results. It's not sustainable. The things that we're doing, the diets and all the things that we're doing are not sustainable and they're not realistic. It's like, okay, I'm going to just eat 800 calories a day for the next 2 weeks, and then I'll get to my weight and then I'll be okay. That's not realistic. It's not sustainable. We're not dealing with the real problem. Okay. This is key. Weight loss is never about the food. Write that down. Weight loss has never been about the food. Okay. So there's a reason why you are overweight. And it's not because brownies are so delicious. All right. So you give up quickly so you don't figure it out. So when you go on a diet and when you restrict certain foods, it's so hard because you spend a lot of time resisting, reacting, and avoiding the issues. And you use food or shopping or social media or whatever it is to make up, to create some sort of semblance of joy or happiness in your life. But those are short-lived, they're counterfeit. And so then you're now at a worse and worse relationship with yourself. Okay. So in the chat, I want you to share, just even like if you agree, just a thumbs up, or yeah, that's me. I get it. Like, I just want you to just let me know. I'm wondering if I just can't read the chat because I'm sharing a screen. So let me know what's going on. Okay. Can you relate to this? How often do you turn to food to try to give yourself some sort of joy? Okay. You're so quiet. There's so many amazing women on this call. So fun to see you all here. Okay. Oh, there we go. There's a chat. Used to do it all the time until learning your program. Okay, thank you. Let's get this interactive. Let's build this community, ladies. I am here for you. I created this for you. And it was it's so amazing for us to know that you no longer have to be in so much stress and so much trouble. Okay. I'm on a new computer, so it could be me, but I don't see your shared screen. Oh, okay. Well, it's usually in, it's usually just a little chat box. Can you not see my pretty slides? Can everyone see my pretty slides? Just put yes. You should be seeing a picture of a girl with heart-shaped glasses. Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay. So what needs to happen? If we say love is all you need, how is that possible? So today I'm going to share the top 3 reasons why love really is all that you need. And I tried to find a picture of Tina Turner. I know this isn't Tina Turner, but the song of What's Love Got to Do with It has been playing around in my head for quite a while now. And so I thought, shout out to Tina Turner. I love her. Okay. So I didn't even introduce myself yet. I'm Dara Thomason, and I am the I'm the weight and life coach for quilters. And I have lost 50 pounds without counting calories or exercise. And I have kept that off for 2 years. Isn't that fun? And I help other women to do the same thing. It's so rewarding, and it's so fun. Because truthfully, losing weight has nothing to do with your worth. It has everything to do with let's just have some more fun in life. All right, are you ready? So these are the top 3 reasons love has everything to do with permanent weight loss. And I should say, getting to your ideal weight. I want to just make a comment quickly, is everybody has a natural body's weight. Like, our bodies want to be at a certain weight. our bodies don't want to be a pack mule. They don't want to be carrying a lot of extra fuel. Actually, I should preface this. Our lower brain, our survival brain, does have the wiring of you should always be putting on extra weight, because if there is a pandemic, if there is a food shortage, which, I mean, I was just talking to my neighbor yesterday, 2 days ago, and he just kept going on about the price of food and how Australia had their crop failures, and these people had crop failures, and those people had crop failures, and just how, like, it was really catastrophizing all of it. So even having that conversation, our lower brain says, alert, alert, alert. You need to be adding extra calories now, because we don't know if there's going to be a famine or a pandemic and all those things. Okay. So I'm teaching you how to get out of that lower brain and into your higher brain, because truthfully, our bodies all want to be at our ideal body weight. Now you can do a computer search, an internet search, and it will say what your BMI is and all of this. Okay. But truthfully, our body wants to be at a beautiful weight that doesn't put extra pressure on our hips, on our knees, on our ankles, on our joints. We don't want to have inflammation. We don't want to wake up with pains and aches. We don't want to have all of those troubles. Okay. So our body instinctively wants to be at its natural weight. And so, and all of us are wired that way. Okay. So this is how I help you do it. Now, so the top 3 reasons why everything has to do with losing the weight and keeping it off is we're going to explore unconditional love versus conditional love. We're going to explore about our self-relationship and self-care. There is a lot of misunderstanding out there. There's a lot of confusion out there. And so today's class is really going to help you not only be aware of what you're putting in your body, but really learning what does it actually look like to love yourself, and in these 3 areas. Okay, you ready? So fun. Okay, how fun is this picture? I just loved it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is unconditional love versus conditional love. So in the chat, I want you to tell me if you can relate to this. When I wear a certain pair of jeans, then I can feel acceptable. Who's ever said that? When I get to this weight, then I can start doing things. I can start going to classes. I can start feeling good about myself. I can tell myself I'm acceptable. When I, when I can weigh this number on the scale for 3 days in a row, then I can feel good about myself. Okay. How many when, thens do you do? How many times do you do that in a day? Okay. So when you have that relationship with yourself, that is called conditional. That says, if you do this thing, then you're acceptable. Why do you think we do that? Let's just get curious for a minute. Why do we treat ourselves that way? Because think about it. If you were to talk to your child that way, or even your baby, and say, baby, if you don't cry for 4 hours, then I think I'll keep you. But if you keep crying, I think I'll just take you to the fire station. So when did that start for us? When do you think that starts? It feels good to blame, then it takes responsibility from me. Okay, let's get curious about that. And going back to my, what are we doing? Like we try all the diets, we be strict with ourselves, right? Why are we doing that? Okay. So conditions Now, it's fine to have conditions. So if someone brought me a quilt and they said, Dara, I need you to quilt this quilt. And we would talk about, okay, let's get all the conditions put in place. Okay, what color of thread do you want? What kind of batting do you want? What kind of design do you want? How much money do you want to spend on this? All of that, that's totally appropriate. Like, this is a condition that I have. Even when you hire me as your coach, for example, we can have conditions on that. It's like, we have this many coaching calls. I even have conditions on my money back guarantee. That's totally fine. But when we're talking about loving ourselves and putting conditions on if we are going to give ourselves love, how can that be so detrimental? So Tracy brings up, we can blame ourselves and then we don't take responsibility. All right. So I'm just going to share, and some of you have heard this story before, but when I learned that my worth had nothing to do with the size of jeans that I'm wearing, had nothing to do with the number on the scale, I realized that I could actually start accepting myself and loving myself for exactly how I am. Now, there are only two reasons we're overweight. One is over hunger. We just eat more often. So some of my clients, they kind of compete of like, who's the snack queen? You know who you are? Because we're like, I can't give myself my own joy. So I'm just constantly needing food to do that. Or, I mean, have you ever looked on your phone of how many times you picked up your phone and looked on Instagram or Facebook? It's like, I'm feeling really uncomfortable right now. I don't really know what to do. Oh, I'm going to see what's happening on Instagram. Oh, I'm going to see what's happening on Facebook. Or maybe someone emailed me. Or maybe there's like, someone needs to get a hold of me. I check my emails again. Right? Why are we doing that? Because we're looking for someone outside of us to try to feel a different way. Now, what I want to share in just this component, and I literally could talk on and on and on about unconditional love versus conditional love. But I want you to think about, how do you treat yourself? How are you treating yourself? Would you treat yourself the way that you're treating your grandchild or your own child, or like even a stranger? And just get really curious. I remember as I'm watching my clients learn to unconditionally love themselves, this is what it looks like. They go to the store and buy a size 20X pair of jeans that actually fit them. Because they're no longer, and they're actually they're actually doing their hair in the morning. They're actually like thinking about how to take care of themselves. Like, maybe putting on a necklace, maybe having a shower. Because they're saying, you know what, body, regardless of how you look, I'm going to take care of you. Because you know what, you do things for me. You walk places for me. You do things for me. And they're no longer putting conditions like, I'm only going to get you dressed up, body, if you look a certain way. And I want to make this promise to you. Not until you accept your body exactly how it is will you create permanent change. I promise. So go and buy 3 pairs of pants or skirts or whatever that actually fit your current body, because you're the one who created the current body. Because you either overate, you just ate more often than you needed, or you had over desire. So you just ate a bunch of sugar and flour, which is concentrated flour and concentrated food that gives us way more calories than our body can handle. So then our body goes into food storage, energy storage, right? And so you're the one who created the extra weight on your body. So let's embrace it. Let's accept it. Be like, wow, I had some unhealthy habits. I wasn't taking care of myself. Oh, okay. So let's just, body, let's go get like some nice pants that fit and a bra. In fact, that is another part where I just tell you right off the bat, you got to put some money aside for bras, because we got to wear bras that are going to fit you all the way through. So just get curious about that and your relationship with, are you loving yourself with conditions? And how does that feel? Versus, are you loving all of yourself, all your good, all your bad? And how does that feel? Okay. All right. Next reason, self-care is not selfish. So what do you typically think of as self-care? Okay. So getting your nails done, getting a massage. When you think of self-care, tell me, is it going to the spa? What do you think it means? So one of the fun parts about being a life coach is that people often think that when we talk about we're taking care of you, we're learning to think about your thinking, we're learning to get new skills and strategies, that some people might think that you're becoming a narcissist or someone who thinks you are better than other people. It's so is that could happen? Could you get that thinking? But the issue is we are actually learning to be ourselves. So how many people pleasers do we have in the house? Right? How much time do you spend trying to get other people happy rather than yourself? How many of you are wearing yourself out, being exhausted because you think, well, if I can get this compliment or if I can make that person happy, then I can be happy. Okay, so what is the problem with that? And I really want you to think about those patterns of behavior that you have that are not serving you. So when we think about self-care, it's learning how to be you. It's learning to I have these steps under here. So the first part is we need to appreciate that you are unique. You are really special. You are different. There are no two people. And I love thinking there is only one Dara Thomason in this world. This is all the world can handle because I am my own unique coolness. And there's only one Tracy, and there's only one Nancy, and there's only one Hallie. There's only one of us. And isn't that amazing? So this next step is to marvel. So some of you might think, oh, well, I don't want to be selfish, and I don't want to think this, and I don't want to be a narcissist. I don't want to, all those things. Okay, so this is where I got from my coach, the life coach school. She says, the easiest trick I have found to do this is to remember that I didn't create myself. I was created. So each one of you didn't create yourself. And so it's not your place to judge yourself. I didn't create this 6-foot tall body with these eyes and those. Of course, I decide how I'm going to do my hair and how I'm going to clothe my body, but I didn't create this. This was created for me and I just grew into it. Isn't that interesting? You were created, so why judge yourself? So now let's go to this next part. This is going to be super interesting for you. I want you to question how much time do you spend shoulding on yourself? So here's some questions. I should be better looking. I should be smarter. I should be more athletic. I should be more outgoing. I'm too tall. I'm too lazy. I'm too short. I'm too awkward. I'm too skinny. I should have different parents. Talk about blame, right, Tracy? I should have different friends. I should have different this. Something has gone terribly wrong with my life. So it's curious. Why do you think we spend so much time to believe that these things that our life should be different? Why is it so much easier for us to believe these things than it is to celebrate all that it is as if it was meant to be that way? Like, I'm supposed to look more like my dad than and my brothers and my sisters. I'm supposed to, because that's how I am. Okay. So I want you to get curious about that. Now, so let's go to the problem. This is the problem that we all have as a human race. The problem is we never question what we think we are supposed to be. So we have all these shoulds, like I should be this, I should be that, I should be this. Now, if I asked you, if we were sitting across from each other and I said, well, how should you be? How are you supposed to be? What would you say? So we have an image of how we are supposed to look. We know how the world should work. Do we all know that? We know how what should be going on in our lives. We believe the good should increase and the bad shouldn't be there. We spend a lot of time upset that our life isn't matching up with the version in our heads. I watch this all the time. So you have an image. I want you to start getting creative here. I know you're all creative. You're quilters. It's like, what is the image of how your parents should have raised you and how your spouse should treat you and how the government should be different and how everything is ruined? Ruined compared to what? To the idea of what life should be or how it should be. So I really want you to we're going to get curious. You all know, well, those are new to me. It's one of my favorite emotions. It's like, what really should life be? Okay. So now we're going to go to, and this is all part of our self-care because it's all part of our self-awareness. And we're actually calling our own bluff. Because if we never really knew what life should be, we keep thinking it should be this, it should be that, but we don't actually take the time to decide what you think life should be, then we're always on a hamster wheel of trying to chase a life that we don't even know we're chasing. So no wonder we're never happy. No wonder. So I'm telling you, this is so crazy to know this. So I have clients that have lost 40 of what was just recently, I was coaching her. She's lost, I believe it was 45 pounds. And according to her calculations, she should have been 50 pounds at that point. So this is truth. She has not posted pictures of herself. She has not celebrated herself because according to what she thought she should have weighed, she was 5 pounds off. So now she's not experiencing and not enjoying any of the 45 pounds that she had taken off with my 12-week program. And she'd been able to keep it off for almost a year on her own, just doing the principles that I taught. Isn't that fascinating? So she's not allowing her brain to celebrate what she has been able to accomplish. Okay. So this is one, so what I'm saying is you can lose the weight. And if things aren't perfect, which life isn't, you're going to have something else you're going to stress about or something else that's going to be a problem. Now, one of the things I do want to tell you is when you do lose the weight and you're happy with that weight loss, you have now solved weight loss. So you can cross that off the list and you're just going to keep maintenance. You're going to keep working on that. So now I don't have the same problems with, and my clients don't have the same problem with shopping now. Clothes shopping used to be a big stress and worry for them. And now clothes shopping is a pro, not a con. And now food shopping is a pro, not a con. Looking in the mirror doesn't cause them all the stress that it used to. All of those things that used to cause them so many problems, they've actually solved that, but doesn't mean that now their life is automatically like 80% amazing and 20% not so amazing. Because in order to have a healthy, balanced life, we need to have the balance of 50-50. But the beautiful thing is you can now solve, like weight loss is now not a problem. Isn't that fascinating? But now you're going to have other things that are going to cause problems. So when we talk about the grass is always greener syndrome, so many people think that once they have all the money and they've lost the weight or whatever they think is the thing that's going to give them all success, they realize they wake up and they still have problems. And in fact, it's interesting. The president of the life coach school, she even says she has created, she says, all my dreams have come true. She has literally created the life of her dreams. And literally like literally. And she said, I woke up today filled with anxiety. So even when you've lost the weight, even when you've accomplished all these different goals, you are still going to have the 50% of life that's going to be have some anxiety, have some challenges, have family issues, have government unrest. That is just what is being a normal human. Okay. All right. Now, the third concept that I want to talk to you, the third reason why love is all you need for losing the weight and keeping it off, is that we need to learn to love ourselves. We need to understand the relationship we have with ourselves. So what do you like about yourself? Okay. And this can't be in like, I like that I'm a helper. I want you to really think about, what do you like about you, without it being about anybody else, without being a good mom or a wife. I mean, you can like the qualities about yourself, about being a good mom. Like, I like that I'm fun. I like that I'm creative. I like that I'm patient. I like that I'm resourceful. I like that I have a lot of unconditional love. I like that I'm easy to, I forgive. I forgive others. I forgive myself. Okay. I really want you to think about, what is that? What would you say is the relationship? What do you like about yourself? Okay. So this is tricky. All right. Now, next question. If you could trade places with anyone else, who would it be and why? This is such a good, so I talk about this mining your brain juice, like mining your brain. Like, we all have answers in our brain. So who would you be and why? I used to dream about being my friend who had she had a natural food store. She knew so much about food, and she knew all about like food science, and she just was so easy around food, and food was just such an easy thing for her. And I would just daydream about being her. And she was so thin, and she was so like, it was just amazing. And she was so easy with food. I thought, oh, I would do anything to be like that, because I didn't want to have this terrible body image. So get really clear about why you want to be that person. What would be the benefit of being that other person? And why do we even bother to improve our lives if we won't be any happier? So this is such an interesting question. So you're like, okay, Dara, you're saying life is 50-50. So what is the point of even trying to improve it? So I'm going to tell you. I love this question because it reveals the belief right in it. The belief is that the only reason to do things is to be happier. See, that's the problem. We think when we're thin, then we can feel this way. When we're this, then we can feel this way. We've got to eradicate that. We've got to change the way that we see having a balanced, healthy life. So because we want to grow, and like, why would we want to grow and be uncomfortable? Because life is always going to be 50-50. You can, if you have any problems with that, come and talk to me. I'm so happy to talk to you about that. So why not make that 50% of your life that's going to be amazing? Why not focus on that? And then why not the 50% that's not going to be great? We don't make a big deal of it. So when I was like, when we, let's say, how often do you forget your password on your, on anything? Okay. Put your hand up. It's like, forgot my password. So instead of saying, oh my goodness, this always happens, I can't believe this, why do they have to have passwords? This is so ridiculous, such a waste of time. How often do you go there versus, oh, I know how to get a new password. I know how to do that. I wonder if I could get a better way to remember my passwords. All right, I'm going to go and do that. So that was something negative. It wasn't something that you planned, but because you didn't avoid, resist, or react to it, just like, oh, accept it. Acceptance. I got to go get a new password. Such a difference. Okay. So just one more thing about that. What if the point of life stopped being to be happy all the time and changed to, I'm going to grow all the time. I'm all in for growth, no matter how old I am, no matter how young I am. I'm just all in for growth. So what if enjoying what is made it even easier to change what is? And we don't change it to be happier, but just to see if we can. Then and only then do we stop comparing our lives to the lives that we are supposed to have. Then and only then do we stop comparing our lives to others. Then we start enjoying ourselves in the lives that we already have. You might need to replay that a couple times. So why does this work? Everything we do in life is because we want to feel a certain way. So we eat not to create joy in our lives, not to give us, comfort. We actually eat to fuel our bodies, and that's why we eat. We're not relying on food to create any sort of feeling other than like fullness or nutrients. So we're no longer using food improperly. That's what we're doing. We understand weight loss and make informed decisions about food. So we no longer are stressing and worried and using weight as a big problem for ourselves. We're just like, oh, this is what weight loss is. This is what food is for. So what you can expect is we start living our lives how we want, because we're not delegating all of our happiness and excitement and our sadness and all of that to food, which never actually solved it. We can troubleshoot our own problems because we're actually learning to love ourselves, accept ourselves exactly how we are. Even if we're 330 pounds, we're going to go buy clothes that fit a 330-pound woman. We're going to understand why we got this extra weight. We're going to start problem solving. And now we are independent and no longer seeking approval or permission from others. Because guess where the approval and the permission comes from? From ourselves. Because we learn to love ourselves totally and completely. Okay, so that's what you can expect. So we have unconditional love. We got to love ourselves no matter what. We're no longer doing the when I'm this, then I can feel this way. That's not going to happen. We're going to learn about what actual self-care is, learning to see how we can truly take care of ourselves. And that's learning to think about our thinking, to start becoming aware of our life. And then we go into a relationship with ourselves. What do you like about ourselves? And really, truly understanding that we aren't going to this unrealistic la-la land of rainbows and daisies all the time. We are literally always going to have 50% happy, 50% not so happy. And just as a real nail in the coffin, that's kind of a funny expression, but think about how many movie stars who are really thin and are really rich have depression, kill themselves, have drug addictions, all of that. Because life truly, to have a balanced, healthy life, you will have 50% happy, 50% not so happy. So we're going to really love the 50% happy, and we're not going to make such a big deal of the 50% that's not so awesome. Okay. So that's our training for today. What you are a better person for attending? What's the biggest takeaway you got? How will this training affect your life moving forward? Take one thing. I want you to take just one thing that I shared, and I want you to commit to change. And then I want you to start enjoying that transformation. So if you want, and I would love it, if you put that one thing you want to change in the chat. Wouldn't that be so fun to share it with others? But truly, I want you to take this hour you're spending with me and really make one thing. Because if you do one little change every day, even if you did one new thing every week and mastered that one thing, 52 things at the end of the year that you're better at. Amazing, right? So good. All right, so that's our training for today. So now I'm going to talk about how you can apply all the tools that I've been teaching and get support and learning truly what loving yourself thin looks like. So when I lost the weight, it really was because I learned to accept myself for how I was. I understood why I was going to the food. And just by learning to love myself, accepting myself, and no longer feeling repulsed or disgusted with myself, even if when I got neutral with myself, like, yep, this is what it looks like. This is what made the change. So I am delivering my Love Yourself Thin program for the first time live over 3 days. And I'm going to be doing that at Lisa Bonjean's brand new retreat center in Wisconsin, just outside of Appleton. That's the airport you go to. Or if you live near, you could drive. It's actually, Larson is the district, but the town is Winchester. I just learned that yesterday. So we're going to have a live 3-day event where I'm going to teach you the entire process. So for those of you who are a big picture girl like me, you're going to see how it's all going to work. How it's going to work. And then to support you to create that change, that permanent change, you're going to have 2 weekly live coaching calls every week until January 12th. We'll take a week off for the holidays. So I'm going to support you through Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. So amazing. And you are going to lose 12 pounds guaranteed, or you get your money back. Okay. And then you learn the process of losing 12 pounds and keep taking it off. So the live event, of course, is for October 18th to 20th. And then you get that support by me until January 12th. It's $3,000. And you can go right now on my website, Work with Dara, or you can type this in and you can pay, and I can do a shout out for you right on the call. It'd be so fun. So $3,000, you get the live event where you learn the whole picture of loving yourself thin. And then you will get that support all the way through. Now, you know how much I love to support my women. And so I'm going to just talk to you quickly about what actually happens in this process. So first of all, we're going to learn how weight loss science is actually very simple. You're going to learn to create your own protocol, and then you're going to learn to troubleshoot that protocol. I'm going to teach you tools. So you're going to figure out how it works best for your body. I have women that have lost 100 pounds. No, not quite. She's at 85, I think. And I don't even know what she eats, but she learns how simple weight loss science is. She learns how to create her own protocol. She learns how to troubleshoot it. She applies the tools, and I teach you all of those. Okay. Then we're going to go into the second phase. And the second phase is you're going to learn that emotions actually help us, and you don't have to be afraid. So you're no longer going to be buffering. So you're not going to be spending as much money on fabric, on food. You're going to be able to be so much more productive because you're not going to be spending so much time on social media and all the other time wasters. And you're totally going to learn how to own your own feelings. And the triple P is some of the biggest pitfalls my ladies fall into is perfectionism, people pleasing, and procrastination. So we're going to really dial in on that. And then the third phase is you're literally going to create your own results with your thoughts. You're going to learn to be aware of your thoughts and learn to be able to see why are you having those thoughts that don't serve you. And then you're going to learn how to create those results on purpose of what you really want. Okay. And then I'm going to go through a way of building self-confidence that you've probably never heard of. I never had myself. It really is so changing. You're going to learn to create goals and accomplish them. Okay. So, oops, that is not the picture I was going to have in that. So results of Love Yourself Thin. You could do a picture like that. Is you're going to understand why you are overweight and unhappy with your life. You're going to implement the tools and build yourself a life that you want. Now, results of the Love Yourself Thin process. This is something that I hear over and over and over again when I talk to my ladies. they say they are no longer a crash test dummy in their life, which means they're no longer, people can say words, husband can make comments, ladies at the guild can criticize, neighbors can say things, your in-laws might say something, your daughter-in-law might do something, and you are no longer at the mercy and whim of what other people say. You are no longer at the mercy or the whim of what the scale says. You literally can become the prominent driver of your life. Now, I want to share with you how you can create guaranteed, so how to guarantee success. So I have helped so many quilters lose weight and keep it off. And because I want to really help you to nail this, right, to really get this, because you have some of you have PTSD on all these other weight loss goals that you have tried. So because I want to help you so much to learn this 12 lesson, the process of losing the weight and keeping it off and becoming a person that you want to be, I have a bonus of offering group coaching. So now you no longer feel alone. It takes the shame out of weight loss. It's so relatable. You get support from each other. You learn from others. You rally for each other. You get ideas of what is working. You learn faster from others. And I can see the more that I teach this and the more women that have learned this, the faster the results we get. Okay. So we've got the live event, the 18th and the 20th. You're going to get 2 weekly coaching calls a week. And you're going to have group coaching now that's going to help you. And it's on a Facebook group. So you're going to be in a private Facebook group where you can actually support each other, learn from each other, rally, get ideas from each other, learn faster from each other. But you also get access to me 24/7 within reason. I do sleep. And I'm not so much on there on Sundays and Saturdays. But you have access to me, and you know, no matter what's going on in your life, you can post it in that group and I will get to you. I will help you. Okay. So you get all of that. You get the, how are you going to guarantee your own success? You're going to have the live event. So you're going to get the big picture. You're going to get the weekly coaching calls. You're going to have a group setting with other quilters who are so similar to who you are. What some of the biggest comments I get is when I'm coaching somebody, the other ladies just can't believe that that is the other person, not them, because they feel like I'm talking directly to them. Then you get that Facebook group where you have the support from me, access to me and all these other amazing women. So then how else are we going to guarantee your success? Because I am so committed to helping you create a different relationship with yourself. It is no fun. I did not enjoy being me. It was no fun. And so now that I can have so much more comfort in my body, and I see my clients, they're just doing so much more with their lives. They're creating more quilts. They're interacting more. They're volunteering. They're living their life. They're going kayaking. They're going on vacations because they've done this work. So I wanted to make sure that we're going to have so much more success that I want you to start right now. And what I mean right now, you're not going to get into the Love Yourself Thin until October 18th, but I am going to allow you into my Monday group where in September, we are all losing 2 pounds a week or making some crazy, amazing goal. And I'm teaching you how. And you can get access to that group. You can come on live to all the calls Monday morning, where you're going to learn to do that. And then the month of October, so rearing up to our buffering, to our live program, is you're going to learn about buffering. We're going to really deep dive into that. And that's going to be so helpful for you all. So you can get into that group. And also, because you're going to be in that Facebook group, you will get access to 30 plus hours of previous courses that I've taught that have been so transformational to so many ladies. So that is what I'm offering, because I reward Action. Being on this call meant that you said, I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to go on this call with Dara. I'm going to see what this is all about. And I'm rewarding that for you. So because you're here and because I am so interested and so invested in your success, that I'm offering this to you right now. So you will have the Love Yourself Thin program, the whole process that creates these results, permanent weight loss. You will have the group coaching 2 times a week. You will have access to me on a Facebook group. You will have access to all these other women who are doing the same thing. They're in the same boat as you. And starting a live event, so 3 days where you're immersed in this whole big picture. And then you get to start right now. In fact, I will, as soon as I get payment, I will put you in that Facebook group and you can watch that video starting right as soon as you pay. Okay. And then, all right. So where am I here? Okay. I've got some other bonuses. They're not necessarily bonuses. They're ways of gaining you support and success in this, because I know how much shame and I know how much discouragement. I know how challenging it is to believe in ourselves, especially when we have such a bad track record. I was speaking to a lady yesterday who joined and she said, I've never been able to have success with this. Never. And that's the belief that she carries about herself. Okay. So you're going to start now. Now, I have a client who she was a one-on-one client and she's been in my Love Yourself Thin program. And she is now going to the life coach school and she's becoming a coach and she's doing awesome. And so I approached her and said, would you be interested in offering one-on-one coaching for the 6 weeks before we get into the Love Yourself Thin program on October 18th? And she said that she would. She's amazing. She actually coached me on Saturday and I came up with she was able to discover some thoughts that were not serving me. And she was able to help me so powerfully. So I am offering, I've never done this before, 6 weeks of one-on-one coaching with her, who she is wonderful. And so you can get a head start right now. So who has a question? Any questions for me at all? So not only are you getting the process of losing 12 pounds in 12 weeks, a lot of my clients lose more than that, money back guaranteed. You're going to have a group coaching. You'll have a Facebook group where you will be able to help other women. You'll have access to me 24/7. You will be able to start right now on Mondays. And then, so here's that. So for $3,000, if you're Canadian, then I just send you, it's $3,000 Canadian plus the GST or of your province. I also have a money back guarantee. So if you come to the class weekly, if you do 3 simple things that those are part of the process that I'm teaching this month of how to lose that weight. You do 3 thought downloads a week and you do 3 thought models a week. I will guarantee that you will lose 12 pounds in the 12 weeks. So there's no downside for the money part. Okay. And the last thing, I think the last thing that I really, I'm so interested in your success that you have a 6-week personal check-in with me. You have a 20-minute call with me. And so that's going to help you to just check in. If there's anything that's coming up, we can bring that up there. If there's something that's not appropriate, if there are some sexual or really delicate issues that are coming up as we discover this weight loss, then you can, there is office hours and you can reach me and I can meet with you on that. I also have a 12-step perfection recovery program that is so super helpful. And then I also have the 4th Monday of every month, we have a follow-up coaching call, which is super fun. So You get all of that for signing up. Now, this is our chance to ask me any question. I want to hear from you. Have you bought? Have you bought? Because I want to shout you out on this call. So I do have all of the information for lodging at the retreat. If you cannot come to the live event, if that doesn't work out for you, we are offering it virtually. So you will get, you'll be able to join us virtually through Zoom. Also, I have all of the classes recorded. So if you can't come virtually and if you can't come live, then I will send you the classes. So they're edited, they're all together. And so if you'd rather consume it that way, and then you can do it on your own time, I will be able to share that with you as well. Are there any other questions that you have for me? Another question that I often get is, what happens when you doubt yourself? I say, welcome to being a human. Okay. So if you are having any questions or doubt, that's normal, because our lower brain is saying, this is very dangerous. We shouldn't do this. We should keep the extra weight on. We shouldn't do anything new, because our lower brain wants us to stay safe, seek pleasure, and conserve energy. And by purchasing and putting yourself in this room, it's going to require energy. It's going to require that you're going to have some discomfort, and it's going to require, what was it? Discomfort. It's going to take energy. You're going to have to do some new things. Okay. All right. So many of my ladies come to One Love Yourself In. They have a lot of weight to lose. They have to create permanent weight loss. They have to change their thought patterns. So I could do this program over 12 months. But one of the reasons I do every 3 months is because when you invest in yourself, when you pay money, you are more invested in this process. And I want to tell you that if you've gone through it before, you can go through it again and again, and it will be different every time, because your brain has evolved and changed every time. So you will get new growth, change from it. All right. I want to invite you to, if you're like ready to buy and you have a few questions, I totally ask me any question. I want you to have comfort in buying. I want you to go over to my podcast. This next week, I'm going to be giving away 4 $100 gift cards to Lisa Bondine's Primitive Gathering shop. So when you go there live to the live event, you can have $100 just for shopping. It's so fun. And the retreat center is actually very reasonably priced. It has excellent food, beautiful accommodations. So any other questions, please let me know. And I will see you when I see you. And I don't know, have you registered for next week's webinar? It's going to be just as good. All right, take care. Bye-bye.